Welcome. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how I build assessments based on the proficiency scales. I'm going to use this listening assessment as like my example as I talk you through the process. So anytime that we build a reading or a listening assessment, we start at level 3. Level 3 are the questions that we want all students, like this is our goal, to be able to answer and be able to provide evidence with based on what they read or hear. This one, it's with listening and readings, it's hard to write the questions a little bit because you want to make sure that you're not giving away any answers to anything previous with the way that you write them. So far, we've gotten this kind of down to a science where if we have started with level 3, gone back and built 1 and 2 with concepts that will help them answer level 3, by the time they work themselves through that, their brains are normally in the right place to give us the answers that we want. And if not, we'll go back and have a conversation with that student. So we start with 3. These are the main idea, the hows or the why type of questions that we want a student to be able to answer. That is demonstrated in the main idea portion of the scale of level 3. And then we'll go down to 1. Well, which words in the listening or in the reading does the student have to understand what they mean to be able to later be able to answer about simple details in section 2 or those main ideas or those hows or whys in level 3. When we switched from just picking any random vocabulary to picking the ones that fed into 2 and 3, transformed our test. Automatically made them a lot more reliable, a lot more consistently scored through the levels. Level 1, if a student has previously passed like a Google form check of vocabulary, I can almost guarantee they're going to at least be a level 1. Most students, generally speaking, if they're passing their vocabulary and their grammar quizzes at 80% or higher, we have data to prove that they will most likely at least get a C or a level 2, a 70% on their EL checks. Consistently, that's where we found we've played with that 80% on the basic grammar vocabulary quizzes, but it seems like we found a good consistent number for us. So level 1, vocab or cognates. Stuff you should know based on what we've done on class, or it's obviously a cognate or a word that is similar in both English and Spanish. 2 is our simple details. This is your where, when, what, your simple ones, all the ones that aren't how and why. Simple details. All they have to do is answer with a 1 or 2 word answer in English to demonstrate they understood or could pull that simple detail from what they read or heard. Level 3 is the how or why or main idea portion. And 4 requires inference. It requires for you to take the information that you heard or that you read and make an educated guess about what people will do with what else they've done in the reading, or be able to express based on cultural concepts, make a connection to what you're reading or hearing. Here, for 1P, we asked, why is it important to do something to help our planet? It was in the listening, so they could provide evidence from the listening to support their answer there, but the language was elevated, which qualified it for a level 4 type of question. That format, we start at 1, we have simple vocabulary and cognates. Level 2, simple details, when, where, what. 3 being our how and why, and being able to provide evidence. The evidence piece is very important at a 3. It's an expectation for ISTEP for all content areas that they be able to provide evidence, which is why we've made sure it's remained in our scales at level 3 for both listening and reading. And 4 is an extension, an interpretation, or an understanding at a higher level of difficulty. Writing, however, is a little bit different. And it's a based type of assessment. So the prompt is pretty much always the same. It has our goal for the whole semester on it. This is the very first one, so we left it very open-ended just to see what the students could produce. And then as they go through, we try to help them highlight different skills that we've been practicing. So here you'll notice you've got this prompt, family outdoor problem solution. As I over to 1B, which we're getting ready to do coming up. family, outdoor, problem, solution. And now they just have more and better tools to do that. That's just their content. How it's graded for writing, it's less about the assessment, as long as your prompt is similar throughout the whole semester, and more about the production. For writing, the assessment's really more useful for the grading aspect. So we look at what they are able to produce and assign a grade based on what they've been able to accomplish based on our goals there. For Spanish 3, that is definitely simple basic sentences in 1. 2 would be our simple basic sentences in only one time frame with details. 3, we're talking multiple time frames with appropriate detail in the quality we're looking for. It says with no major errors or omissions or no errors that affect meaning. And when we apply that to grading, we've made sure that we grade together. We're very consistent about which kinds of errors we would find acceptable and which ones we do not. For the Spanish 3 scales, in fact, we have been able to attach writing samples to them. Those aren't the ones that I put in the Moodle course because they're not currently official. They're just the ones that we are using, and quite effectively, I feel like. There's only 2 of us teaching Spanish 3, so when we grade with those concepts and attach those samples in the scale, the students can see the samples that are in the scale. It gives them a clear idea of what we're looking for in those areas. So reading and listening are very similar based on that format. Writing, the prompt is the same. We help give them the tools here as we move through things to make it better.